These exercises to follow will all be upper body focused. They're going to really help to ease aches and pains that come from postures due to breastfeeding, co-sleeping, carrying babies, and they're things that you can do quite early on. Because of the movement that you'll get through the chest and upper body, your scar may feel some tension, some pulling as it moves around, and it's really important that you move to a range that feels comfortable for you, and that will change as the days and weeks go on. So we're going to begin by doing some chest openings. So you're going to bring the elbows just in front of your shoulders, almost as if you're looking through your forearms like a window. So when you're ready to, you can take a breath to just open those out to the side, and they may come all the way out towards the floor, or you may feel that you can only go somewhere through that range. You're going to exhale, just close those elbows back up, bringing the palms together, the elbows together. One more time, we're going to breathe in, allow those arms to open. That chest stretch will feel lovely if you've been all tucked up in these positions. And then exhale, gather them back around. Any tightness or pulling that you feel through your scar, you can modify by doing a much smaller range of movement, or if necessary, even just moving one arm at one time. From here, we're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling, so you've got a straight elbow. You're going to take both hands slowly overhead. Same again, concentrating on what feels good through your scar and allowing yourself to feel that stretch through the shoulders and the chest. You're going to exhale, bring the arms up towards the ceiling, and you can follow that all the way through towards the hips. You're going to take yourself up on the inhale, and if the movement feels restricted by here, that's as far as you would go, but you can continue to work your way through the range of motion until the stretch on the scar feels enough for you. Exhale, gather the hands back. Let's finish in the center, and for each of these we would aim to do between 5 and 10 repetitions. Turn the palms in towards one another. You're going to take your left hand back towards the end of the room and the opposite hand down towards your hips. You're going to exhale to scissor in midair, bringing them back over the chest and then switch in the opposite direction. And always just keeping your breath slow and steady, breathing in for one movement and breathing out for the other. While you work here, we can also just focus on the rib cage staying connected and settled on the floor. We don't want lots of arching through the spine. We don't want those ribs or lower back lifting away from the mat. And if necessary, make your movement smaller until you can control that. Having practiced the overhead reach with the knees bent, we can increase the stretch through the fascia, which will deepen the stretch potentially on the scar. So just move as you feel comfortable to do so. The legs are now extended. You're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling once again. On the inhale, we're going to take the arms behind us. Again, whenever the stretch feels too intense, that's where you pause. You're going to exhale, bring the arms back down towards the hips, and we can move through that range a couple of times. And you can play around here a bit. You can change the position of your palms, and you'll feel the stretch just change ever so slightly. So perhaps bring the palms to face one another. Really lovely work, and working through a range that feels good and comfortable for you. And finishing there, well done. The movement that we're looking for here really needs to come from the upper part of the torso. So to avoid overstretching through your shoulder joint, we're going to keep your elbow bent throughout. So as you rotate the chest towards the ceiling, you're going to use this hand to guide the rib cage to just rotate out into a stretch. You go as far as you're comfortable to go, and on an exhale, you're going to return to center where the elbow will be pointing up towards the ceiling. So you can use this hand to guide your way round, but you're not over pushing the stretch. These are still early days. We want to allow a little bit of movement into that scar and fascia, but we don't want to overwork it. You can repeat this a few times. You may find that the movement gives and you can gain a little bit more as you do some repetitions. And then at home, you'll turn and you'll do the same on the opposite side. This is a really lovely stretch for the muscles across the front of the chest, which will often get tight as a result of feeding, carrying babies and co-sleeping. So whenever you pass the door frame, remember this one. We're going to start with the single arm. You're going to prop the elbow and the forearm against the frame of the door, and you're going to take a step forwards with the same leg. The wider the step, the deeper the stretch, but you're in control of that, and it doesn't have to be a big stretch. You're going to hold that then for 20 to 30 seconds, breathing consistently throughout. You can then step back and you can repeat that a couple of times. You can do that one side and then the other. And if you want to, progress to a double stretch in the door frame when you're ready to do so. This next round of exercises are suitable from around 4 to 6 weeks, so after you've done the earlier movements that we've introduced to you before. Starting on all fours, you're going to make sure that your lower back is in a neutral position. So we don't want a big curve in the lumbar spine, and equally we don't want that lower back rounded too much. We're going to start at neutral, that straight spine with the tailbone pointing out to the back of the room. You can inhale, dropping your belly towards the mat and letting the tailbone round up towards the ceiling. Exhale, gather the abdomen towards you, use your glutes to tuck that tailbone underneath you and drop your chin slightly towards your chest. Inhale, send that tailbone up towards the ceiling and allow yourself that curve through the lower back. That's going to add some stretch to your scar. So if it doesn't feel comfortable to add that movement in, stick with the rounding and come back to neutral only. So you can always modify to suit you. Exhale, tuck that tailbone, lift the abdomen towards you to get that rounding of the back. And then one more time, inhale, lift the tailbone to the ceiling and lift the head. In weeks 2 to 4, we limited your movement by keeping the bent elbow. Now we're introducing a little bit more movement, but only when you're ready to do so. You're going to rotate the upper torso towards the ceiling, opening the arm with you as you do so, and turning the upper body with your eyes following your hand as you do so. Exhale, bring that hand back to the ceiling and finish on the floor. As you inhale, take that arm up to the ceiling, rotate the upper body, but really keep focused on these knees staying stuck together. So we're separating the movement from the bottom half and the top half of the body. You can repeat this a few times and then turn and do the same on the opposite side at home. Threading the needle, you're going to take one hand between the space between your wrist and the opposite knee and turn your body to face the same direction. You're going to bring that hand back through to replace it in that starting position and alternate from side to side. Bringing that hand through, following that movement with your eyes and then coming back to center. As always, if you can't get that full rotation yet, just move in that direction and go as far as is comfortable for you. If you're comfortable to lie on your tummy and scar, we can introduce this exercise from around 4 to 6 weeks. It may take longer for that to be comfortable, in which case add it in when you feel ready to go. If you need to soften underneath your scar, you could put a rolled towel or a pillow to give you a little bit of support. You're going to just gently rise from the upper portion of your body, pushing through the forearms and coming up into this mini cobra pose. You're going to soften your chest and your head back down towards the mat. And the range of movement that you create is entirely down to what feels good in your body. We're looking for small movement here, that gentle extension and the softening away. Repeating a few times to get a little bit of flow, but always moving in a comfortable range. In this side sweat position, you'll feel a little bit of additional stretch through the front of the hip. If it's not comfortable, you can modify that to have both knees tucked on top of one another. You're going to take yourself into a stretch up towards the ceiling and stretch away from me, breathing in as you do so. Allow some breath into the side of your ribs. Exhale, find yourself back up at center. Your range of movement is dictated by what feels good for you. So as you take yourself into that side bend, feel free to pause anywhere along that route, making sure that the bend is a true side bend and there's no rotation or twisting of the body as you do so. Once you've repeated on this side between 5 and 8 times, switch the legs and do the same on the other side. Okay, so feet hip distance apart. Let's aim to keep the knees equal distance apart as you move. It's a small movement, so deliberately allow yourself to move in that small range. You're going to exhale to tilt the pelvis back towards you as if you're pouring water over your chest. Inhale, scoop the water back up into your bucket and tilt the pelvis in the opposite direction. Exhale, rocking it backwards. You're going to tilt as if you're about to lift the tailbone, but you're going to keep it connected. Rock that pelvis away, creating a little arch in your lower back. Rock back towards you on the exhale. And inhale, roll away. Moving on from there then, on the exhale, you're going to make it last all the way up into the bridge, squeezing into your buttocks to lift those hips from the floor. And as you inhale, drop from the breastbone, segment by segment, until the tailbone is the last thing back to the ground. We're going to give you a little prop to keep those knees aligned. So you're going to squeeze the block between your knees, roll your way up to the bridge, squeeze into those glutes, and inhale, rolling down from the breastbone, dropping the spine, segment by segment, and allowing some mobility. As you exhale, squeeze those knees together. That will fire up those inner thigh muscles, help you connect with your pelvic floor. And inhale, roll down from the breastbone, taking it segment by segment until the tailbone is the last thing to hit the floor. So hands are going to be shoulder height and shoulder width on the wall. The further away you step, the more load you're going to put through the core as well as the strength through the arms. So at the beginning, we're going to stay quite close, but over the weeks, if you want to use this exercise, you can make it harder by stepping further back. I'm going to ask you to breathe in, lower yourself towards the wall, taking your nose and chest towards the wall. As you exhale, push that wall away and draw the tummy muscles around you like a corset as you do so. One more time, breathing in, sending your nose and your chest in towards the wall. Feel the connection through the arms as you push the wall away and you connect those muscles in your lower abdomen too.